Board of Library Trustees meeting come to order. Are there any other recording devices in use? Okay. And welcome everyone and Happy New Year. And first thing on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from December 12th, 2022. Does anyone have any comments or questions regarding?
I do.
Okay.
Actually,
Trustee Donahue.
yes, it
Go
says
ahead.
I was absent at the last meeting, but I was there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Nancy. Did you join late? I think that
I did.
happened there.
I did because I had problems with the audio.
Now I remember. Apologies on that. I will.
No problem.
I'll amend that.
Amend it. Okay. Anything else? Okay.
Move to accept the minutes as amended to reflect Board Member Donahue's presence.
Okay, Trustee Fitzgerald. And a second? Trustee Ryan. Okay. And we'll take a vote. Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Ryan.
Aye.
Trustee Donahue.
Aye.
Trustee Macy Phelps.
Aye.
And Trustee Persons.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So unanimous vote. Thank you to our recording secretary. And the next thing on our agenda is our director's report. Welcome back. And we're happy to see you, Director McGovern, and I hope you're settling back in. And are there some things you'd like to highlight for us tonight?
Yeah. Well, I would like to say I'm happy to be back, and I came back last week, so I'm just slowly getting up to speed with, all the great things everyone has been doing at the library. Of course, I came to story time and, checked in with staff, and I shouldn't be amazed by all the great work that they do and the great programs and the publicity. So it was just wonderful to come back and see all the wonderful things everyone's done. So our programs have been really popular. Story times are so popular. As we talked about, Susie's programs with her flowers, her living library programs are so popular. We're actually trying a lottery. So people, you sign up and you get picked to attend, because there have been, people who have been, waiting to get to these programs. So we're going to see how that works. Hopefully that we get some new people in there. And we'll just keep trying to make sure that everyone has access to, all the great things that Susie's doing, and other staff. But so that's for programs. The other thing I wanted to note that I did check in with Abby about, and I did mention it in the director's report, that we had archives intern Matthew Radulski, who's been working all fall. So thank you to the trustees for letting us get him in there and giving him a stipend to do this detailed work. And so he's been meeting with Abby, for check-ins. He's finishing up at the end of this month, but I was able to meet him on Friday. And he did say that our historical material has been completely inventoried, and he's writing up a detailed strategy on what we should do next with it. For instance, one of the things he says we should continue to do is microfilm all of our newspaper collection. He says it is honestly the upfront cost of transferring from paper to microfilm will, hopefully we did apply for a LSTA grant that would cover the cost of that, but it will open up a whole wall's worth of space that we're housing all of our historical material. And so he says it makes the most sense fiscally, and it is better for long-term preservation. So, and we do have a lot of Westwood specific newspapers. And then he's also, this is something I will be bringing to the board. He's also made a sample policy specifically about, deed of gift contract. People want to donate, like a longtime resident that would say like papers or newspapers or something that they want to donate to the library. He's given us some guidance on that, because sometimes we get these phone calls, not often, but we don't necessarily know are they disintegrated? What's the care use of them? Do we have duplicates, and how we kind of navigate that? So I know we have something in our collection development policy about that, but this is a little bit more specific to specific historical items. So I'll be bringing that to the board. So that was great to meet him and get that update. For staffing, Corinne Coveney, she's one of our part-time reference librarians. She is moving on. She is resigned so she can work for SpringShare, which is, we use lib guides and lib apps. So it's one of those library applications. And so very happy for her. She's going to be doing some more of the detailed behind the scenes work that she's really interested in. So we will be posting that position. This is a position that I actually asked for a few more hours to round it out to 35 hours for next year's budget. I'm not sure where we are in the budget process, that I won't know yet. So I'm working with HR to kind of develop what we should do for next steps for posting. So I will let you guys know what that goes. And then the other kind of positive staffing news is that Susie Canali and Caroline Ty, that they work really frequently together in a lot of different programs at the library. They've done, in the summer, they did the annual plant swap at the Islington branch, and then they did a similar thing at the main library, which was intergenerational, lots of, they bring in all sorts of ages and audiences. Well, they put together a proposal to present at the Massachusetts Library Association's annual conference, and it's actually, it's on the Cape Cod again this year, and it's in May. And they were selected to present on their living library. So the collection and the programs that they do. So I am really proud of them. It's really great for Westwood and kind of sharing our knowledge and kind of the excellence that they do. But I'm excited because, I've been trying to encourage staff at all levels to get involved with the association and really support them. So, they have a great para librarian, I think they call it, like, not a round table, but section, so that they can get more involved at all staffing levels. So I think we did incorporate that into our strategy. So it's been great to see that kind of passion ignited. So I'm really happy that they're going to represent us. So those are the highlights that I've gotten up to speed with the last week.
That's great. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Lizzie.
Thank you.
The next thing is about the Islington branch. Any update for the Islington branch?
I've checked in with Claire a couple times. I know she did a great presentation. It was in December, right? Yeah, it was a December meeting. But the one thing I've noticed as a patron was the warm knits giveaway, and their numbers have increased each week session that they've done that, or the giveaways. Their numbers of people frequenting physically the library to put their names in it went from the 40 or 25 people first time, then it was 40s, then they had 75 people the week after put their name in. And I just think that was such a great collaboration between the Islington knitters, who love that library, and they come every week to knit and to share their creativity and their yarn with the larger community. It's great to see all the faces of the children and adults. It's such a great idea, and I have staff at both libraries that really work hard to, oh my gosh, this is a great idea that we can do to bring it to life. And so we just encourage them to keep thinking of new ideas to really highlight the destination that it is. So that's the brief update that I have for the branch.
Trustee Macy Phelps?
I just wanted to add kudos on that. It's thrilling to see that, especially in light of some articles I've been reading lately about society post-pandemic.
Yeah.
And need to have what are referred to as third spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Public spaces where people can get together and interact in cultural, social ways that are really necessary for the fabric of society. No pun intended with warm knits. The pun. But so that's a really great thing to see. I see their posts all the time. It's wonderful to see older folks, but also little kids wearing these hats and big scarves and things like that. It's just that's just a great thing for the community. So thanks and kudos and congratulations to the staff for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Mary, that's a really great point about the third spaces, because there's a lot of places that try to be that third place, whether it's a Starbucks or even a bank, and libraries you can go there for free. There's no cost of like, oh, you can stay but grab pay for a cup of coffee. So even more so in this, we're welcoming to all. So that's a really good point.
Very good. Okay, thank you. So the poet laureate, I believe, no, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Friends of the Library update. Nancy or Maria, do we have any update with the Friends?
I reached out to Tina and asked her if there's anything that she would like me to report. She said everything is quiet right now. They're in a quiet period of time. And that's really all she said.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
Yep.
That's fine. And then we'll move right on to the poet laureate update. So,
I
yeah.
haven't seen any new candidates. I don't know, Nancy, if you have. I've reached out to Kieran to see if he has. We're meeting in February 9th, I believe, hopefully with candidates to look over their materials. And we do have one exceptionally strong candidate, but
Okay.
we're hopeful that more people will come forth. You know, it was a busy time, so now maybe in the
Right.
next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I have to say that you all did such a great job with getting the word out. I was so impressed. I saw it on Westwood Media. I saw Kieran do it. Maria, you were in the newspaper. So I mean, it was phenomenal. I saw in all different places. So I think that, I mean, definitely did your due diligence of getting it out there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And could you
I've
just
never been
remind
in
us
the
where
world
does
before,
that
so-
where does that put us with the timeline, Maria? So February 9th, you
We're meeting.
meeting, and so,
Before the month is out, we should announce.
okay,
But of course, we have to go to the planning board or
yes,
So
Yeah.
select board.
the
select
select board.
board.
Go to,
Okay.
after we've chosen, we make our recommendations to the select board and then they announce. So,
Okay, that's great. Sounds good. Thank you for keeping us posted.
oh, you're
All
welcome.
right. Okay, the next is our approval of acceptances and expenditures, and which I think everyone has had an opportunity to look at. Any comments or questions? Okay, so I will ask for to take a vote on this. Trustee Persons,
I make a motion to accept the approvals and expenditures as listed.
thank you. And
Second.
Trustee Fitzgerald seconded, okay. And we'll take a vote. Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Trustee Ryan,
Aye.
Trustee Donahue,
Aye.
Trustee Macy Phelps,
Aye.
Trustee Persons,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you. And I'll be in. Lizzie, to sign it.
The yellow folder.
Yep.
We didn't change colors.
Nope, didn't. Okay. All right, the next item is the budget. Do we have an update? I'm not sure that,
Yeah.
we're there yet, or
Right.
something about to-
The FY24 budget was submitted, I think, in the end of November. I mean, it was submitted, but I don't remember the
Yes.
exact timeline. So I haven't heard anything yet. The finance director did email us to let us know that they'll be hearing, that all the departments will be hearing from the next few weeks with any questions before it goes to FinCom in February. So so we're in good shape for the FY23 budget. Everybody has been no one went crazy when I was gone and spent too much. So we're where we should be for the year. And then state aid was awarded, our first initial payment was awarded in December, and that amount was 17,100. Yeah, 15. I wrote that down. So and then we will get a second payment that comes in March. I think the total we got awarded was 34,000, which was up from last year. I don't have that title, but that amount. I did look to see what we have in state aid, because we have now, with the 17,000 currently, we have $158,084.76. So
Sorry, could you say that number again?
yes, $158,084.76. I looked into that today, so I didn't put it in the director's report.
Okay.
So that is what we have in there, and just bringing it up that we do have that fund sitting there, and something I may be bringing something to the board, and I just want to just kind of start the conversation about state aid and what the board feels the uses would be. Of course, I know what we can spend it on, which is of course materials, staffing. Other libraries use every penny every year. We have never done that, but with our strategic plan, with some potential increase of hours that I may or may not be able to get this year. I just wanted to point out that we do have that, and so I may be coming to the board with some direction and maybe asking to use some of those funds.
Well, thank you for, letting us know so that we'll be able to consider that. Trustee Persons,
Yeah, I'd like to maybe start a little dialogue among the trustees about the use of state aid funds, because I do think we can get into the position where we end up shooting ourselves in the foot if that account gets too large and we haven't used it. And I do think that there's a lot of opportunities to use that, given the strategic plan. I think this would be an appropriate time, especially since the librarians, are forever coming up with these brilliant out of the box programs and ways, to come up, to use money, to
Yeah.
need money. So I don't know if anyone has, I honestly don't know the letter of the law when it comes to state aid. So maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure if Paul, perhaps you may.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Can I suggest that Lizzie, that you prepare a information sheet for the
Yeah.
board that discusses what can be spent. I have some familiarity from when I was chair, because we have on a regular basis. I know several times during the course of the year we
Yeah.
was out of that for the archive project and other things. But if
Right.
you just prepare sort of a sheet that would enable us to know what we can and can't spend it on, then I agree with you, Trustee Persons. We should probably have a think session at an upcoming meeting
Mhm.
and look at the strategic plan. I wouldn't be in favor of being one of those libraries that spends it all down.
No.
Right.
Seeing the kind of things that come up over the time I've been on the board, chillers going out, things like that.
Yeah.
I would always like to have some sort of cushion in there, but that we shouldn't let it become, excessive. But
Right.
That's a great idea. I'm happy to do that, and I can put it with the materials for next meeting.
That's great. Actually, I had a conversation with Lizzie when she came back, and last week, and that was one of the things we talked about, that I might come in and have a conversation to increase my knowledge about how it can be used. So I think it would be great for everyone, and then we can make some considerations of some items to support.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mary Beth. That was a great point. Were you finished? Did you have anything more to say? Mary
Not
Beth?
on that, not on that.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. Anything else on the budget, Lizzie? Does that cover it? Okay, so we've opened up our thinking about state aids. The next area is new business. Does anyone have any new business to entertain or let us know about? Okay,
I do, actually.
Trustee Persons?
Yeah, I spoke with Maureen and Lizzie today, and I've decided not to go up for reelection.
Oh.
So, I've been on I guess I've had 3 full terms plus a portion of a term in the beginning. I took over for Jane Nash. So it's been quite a while. As Lizzie can.
I was saying, I was like, you've been here on the board as long as I've at the library. I don't know, my world is rocked. But I mean, you definitely put your years in, so I'm
Yes,
so
it is.
appreciative.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so, but changes in life and changes, just, I think it's a good time for me probably to move on. I've really enjoyed being on the board. I've enjoyed all my work. I've enjoyed working with all of you. I do have a little bit of mixed feelings about it. I know I'm gonna miss it. But I am less and less involved in town. I'm not there physically. I just feel somewhat badly about kind of retaining my position in a way when I feel so detached. But I also feel like it's important to get new blood. I was never one who loved a lot of I was never one who didn't want term limits. I like term limits. I think it's a good thing. And I told Lizzie and Maureen that I would work really hard with them to, help you guys try and find someone. I know my position is a little bit different because I've been doing the accounting for the 21st Century Fund. So, we need a few things. We need someone who is willing to kind of do that type of work. But also I think it's really important that we look at our board and realize that we need a little bit more diversity. You know, we don't have anyone who has anyone in the school system, and that's not a good thing. You know, we definitely need to have people who know people kind of in that whole demographic, so we can kind of keep fresh and just understand what's going on with all of that. So I think that's important. Today I compile a list of probably 20 people to talk to, and people who might be, you know, people who might have some ideas, or people themselves that might, you know, could be interested. So we'll start with that, see what we get. If you guys have any, you know, if you guys have anybody, please let Maureen or Lizzie or me, you know, so that we can kind of talk about it and figure out how best to describe what it is, you know, that the person, the skill set really that someone who's ready to come to the board would kind of have, you know, should have. I know it's, you can't really you can't dictate it because it is a public position, but we would like people to be informed about it. So yeah. So
When can you pull papers?
tomorrow, starting
Tomorrow, starting tomorrow? Okay.
right? So yeah, so
Mary?
Yeah, I won't say too much good about Mary Beth because we still got to get a few months worth of work out of her. And, and I
wait a
got-
minute, Lizzie.
But you know, Mary Beth's contributions to the town through the library really, you know, can't be overstated. She predates me on the board. Right before I joined the board, she was hosting the ribbon cutting for the new main library, and I know she was instrumental in bringing that project to fruition. You know, with the funding, the establishment of the 21st Century Fund, and so on. She's been tireless on the 21st Century Fund as our treasurer, but just also as a library advocate. And really in everything that she's done as a trustee, also serving on the Islington Task Force, and again, being instrumental in the board's review of the branch and firm decision to continue and increase our support for the branch library, and to support that renovation project. So she has just contributed in so many ways. I'm only scratching the surface in what I'm acknowledging this evening. Having worked with Mary Beth on a number of boards over the years, doesn't surprise me a bit that she's done that, because that's just who she is and what she brings to everything. And I know Lizzie, I can second what you've said about the world being rocked a little bit.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot of institutional knowledge and history and dedication that will leave large shoes to fill, although Mary Beth's physical feet are on the small side. Particularly, you know, I know something the trustees will need to think about is that that third position on the 21st Century Fund, because she's been a real workhorse over there as well, making my job as president over there and easy. So, you know, thank you, Mary Beth, but don't go to sleep yet.
Yeah, don't get too comfortable, Mary Beth. Paul,
Thank you.
Paul?
No, thank you
And I
very
would-
much.
I would just add, during the time that I was chair, Mary Beth was someone who I could always rely on for good advice and counsel. And she was, along with the present chair, instrumental in finding Lizzie as our new director. And she gave a lot of time to that, as did Maureen. And we should, that's one of your legacies too, Mary Beth.
I was like, thank you. Yeah.
As well as Trisha too, so
Yeah.
I said, I
Oh,
better
yeah,
leave
yeah.
before we need to find a third director.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well said, both of you. And Mary Beth and I had a chat today, and you know, her willingness to try to foster some new, you know, blood into the trustees and help us, you know, seek some candidates is, you know, really kind of you. And again, she's just going forward, giving her time to do that as she's on her way out the door, which is, you know, quite unusual and commendable. One of the things I thought you said that was great, Mary Beth, was when you came in, someone sat with you and, you know, described the board and the responsibilities and so forth. And I think you kind of repeated that tonight. And I think that that's valuable. I think for someone to kind of get an idea of what the different facets of it are, the opportunities for participation in different committees and so forth. And, you know, I think that's something we should certainly try to do as the word goes out that there's going to be an opening and people might be interested. We brainstormed a little bit about people we might know that we could put some feelers out to, that they might know some people. And, you know, some of you were on that list. So if you have anybody that you think we should reach out to, let's, you know, put it out there. And certainly, Lizzie, you see patrons in and out the door all the time and know people. So you may have some thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that it's already listed on the town website, the positions that are going to be up for election. So, and people can start pulling papers tomorrow. So any other thoughts? We will miss you, Mary Beth. And Mary Macy Phelps is right. Big shoes to fill.
Well, thank you all
Yes.
very much. I really thank you. I really appreciate your kind comments, and I've enjoyed all the work really, and I will miss the board. I really will, and I'll miss working with you. But I really hope. I've always felt like one of the most important things you can do is find a replacement for yourself. I think that's one of the most important. So I really will work hard and try and do that. So.
We'll certainly
Thank you.
miss your expertise. Thank you for everything you've done.
No worries.
Mary?
One other item, I'll bring it up under new business, but it's just another praise for the staff and just the library's contribution in general. I was mentioning to Lizzie before we got on the call that right before Christmas time, during that big windstorm, a tree took down a pole and wires outside our house, and we're without power all day long. So I spent the day in the library, and one of the staff, I think it was Caroline at the front desk, said, "Well, Mary, why don't you check out one of our Wi-Fi hotspots just in case?" So I did, and sure enough, although our power was restored that evening, it was 3 more days before we got internet access restored because of the Christmas holiday and needing to get a second cable placed and so on. So the library to the rescue. It was great. My kids were home, and everybody wanted to get online, but I think just another example of how the library is contributing to to day-to-day life for the community, which I thought was
Proactive.
that she had the presence of mind to think of that, and suggest it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't only have thought of it like, okay, I'm going camping,
Right.
maybe it's a hot spot,
Right.
but it can get you through something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Let's check
great.
one out before the next blizzard or something. Just to,
I know, just to have on hand.
Oh, gee. I know a lot of kids were happy that day, as opposed to perhaps you. My nephew, who's a high schooler,
Oh, yes.
was on his way out the door to go to
Oh,
school, and they got
go
the call. He felt like it was an extra gift the day before the holiday.
That's great. Well, I will say that I couldn't go home, and all I had with me, I was at the gym, so all I had with me was a phone and a credit card. So I figured that was a divine message.
There you go. All you need. Okay, that's great. Anything else that anyone would like to bring up before we adjourn? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, public participation.
Oh, yes, thank you. Do we have an opportunity now for public participation? And we do have someone on.
We have Abby.
Okay,
I think I made it talking. I mean, allowed to talk if there is anything to be.
if anyone would like to share.
Mhm.
No? Okay, well, thank you for listening, Abby. And we appreciate that use of your time. Oh,
Can I bring up, actually, can I go back to new business or it's actually
Sure,
old business? Because this is
Okay.
something we've talked about way in the
that's
past.
fine.
But
Yeah,
just something back to when Lizzie, this is not something that's on your, to-do list currently, or,
Mhm.
it's not a rush job, but the canvas bags, I was just curious. Because I know that was something a while back.
Yeah,
Because the 21st Century Fund was going to also be involved in that, right?
Yes.
So, anyway, just,
I am planning on getting an update. Terry and Felicia I tasked with getting the artwork we needed in this digital format. So, but this, because I know we're meeting
We're
next
meeting
week.
21st century
So
meeting.
I will have an update for the 21st century meeting
okay,
on the
okay.
back. Thank you.
Awesome.
and that's
Okay,
next
great.
week.
That's next
Okay.
week. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right,
All right, then.
great. Thank you. Trustee Fitzgerald,
To adjourn?
a second. Paul made a motion to adjourn and Mary Beth Persons second. We'll take a vote. Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
trustee Ryan,
Aye.
trustee Donahue,
Aye.
trustee Macy Phelps.
Aye.
And trustee Persons,
Bye.
and the chair votes aye. And so this meeting of the Board of Trustees will adjourn at 7:31 p.m. And we'll see you all next month.